Death Star, man.
Nobody calls Han Solo a bitch.
Bring him on. I prefer a straight fight to all this sneaking around.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Oh, come on, bro. It's the wars.
Well, we're at the final episode of the first season of Ahsoka, and we're trading places. This is The Wars and More. I'm Joe. Of course, with me is my good buddy Doug. Hey, Doug, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, Joe. Yeah. How you?
Doing all right. And he made it. All the episodes. Hunter's back with us. You did it.
It's been such a long journey, but I've learned so much.
I had my doubts that you were going to make it for all of them.
I did. Yeah, here we go. I'm actually, I love doing this, but having a break does sound a little nice. You guys do it every week.
Oh, man, try doing it for what are we at? 6 years?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Give that
Yeah, I love the special episodes, but oof.
Yeah, we did it when there was nothing to talk about.
There's
Yeah,
nothing.
that's the hardest part. I would have gone into the and more part of it so much more. But yeah, finale, we're here, and I, to be honest, I have mixed thoughts about the episode, but I did like it. I don't think this is going to be episode 4. Yeah, I shouldn't.
4?
Yeah, how much I hated on episode 4. That was a rough one. That was.
Yeah, I almost forgot about that one because you became a fan again for a while. So.
Right.
Well, five hit, and it was like, I don't know, it was the complete reverse. I was a different person, but yeah, we're here. I guess the question to you guys, like, overall, did you like the episode?
Yeah, that's my line.
I know, right? Stealing your job. Here we go.
I enjoyed it. It was, it had a lot of really cool visual moments. I thought it advanced the story well. And it left me hanging in a good way. It felt like a real Star Wars ending to me because, like, you kind of had some happy and sad going on. It was very, very Empire Strikes Back like to me, right? Like, they're looking out the viewport and you feel like it's a victory, but you lost. Like it really felt that way to me. So I dug it. I liked what they did there. Doug?
Yeah, I liked it. It was, overall, yes, moved the story along like you said. It's and it left us. We'll just say pointed in a direction that I think we all can't wait to go down.
Right.
So yeah, overall it's good.
I think a lot of the negatives I'm going to talk about or I guess would have been solved had this been 10 episodes. I think it being 8 and them not being able to do hour-long episodes really forced them to rush a couple things that made it feel a little strange pacing-wise.
Well, I do want to make a comment about the season overall, like the episode runtimes as a whole. Normally, this decision to run varying episode times, normally I was like on board with because like they were doing it. Yeah, a shorter episode made sense because they got to the point and they didn't just like drag it out for no reason. Whereas in this show, there was so much happening all the time that having shorter episodes felt jarring. And the varying runtimes in this series didn't feel right. Like it was too up and down for me.
I fully agree with you. I don't know if it was a budget thing because like there was a lot of time where anytime anything that wasn't related to the story, like these new forget what this new race of aliens are, the turtle people. Uh, every time stuff was focused on what they were doing, I was like, we only have 30 minutes. Like, let's go. I can't care about this because we don't have a lot of time. And I feel like that would have been fine if they just had hour-long episodes. But
I feel like
yeah,
that applies far more to the back half of the season than the front half.
I fully agree. I like the pacing a lot, at least on episode 1, 2, and 3. But not a lot was happening.
Right.
And I was good with it because it was like, okay, we still have 4 episodes left. We still have 5, whatever. But yeah, in the end, it was like, oh, well, we introduced the villain on episode 6. Well, we need to get him out of the galaxy in 3 episodes. So go, 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 go. It's kind of what it felt like.
True. Ever since the Thrawn hit the picture. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, wow, I feel like maybe we should have done that sooner. And I think that's honestly, I know I crap on the directors a lot, but I don't think it's even a single director being necessarily bad. I think it's the fact that they change directors like every episode. I think it's hard to make a cohesive story when you're doing that. It's kind of what happened to the sequel trilogy, right?
True. Although this is episodic television, so it's a little different.
This doesn't feel episodic though. Like we talked about, this feels like a movie.
Yes.
So I feel like it should have been the same director the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Mandalorian gets away with it because it's like, oh yeah, we're on this planet doing this little thing. Next episode, you didn't even need to see that episode, right?
Right.
This feels much more like a movie.
Very linear.
Yeah. Yeah, which I personally like. I prefer that over more episodic tales.
Yeah. I think the linear storytelling really helped, and I'm really excited. We said this before. I'm really excited to watch this back to back to back to back. You know,
like a movie, yeah,
like a movie. I'd almost like them to like offer it without the Disney Plus logo every time I switch.
Yeah, and like the what happened last time and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, get rid of that. I wonder if they will. Cause like more than anything they've released, like because I thought Obi-Wan was originally going to be like that, and it wasn't as much.
Right.
So I wonder if they will. I know some fan will edit this thing together, but it'll probably be super hard to watch. But the actual episode, the actual episode, I kind of forget how it starts. There's so much that happened that I'm like, oh, I want to go to the end. I want to go to the middle. I want to go to the, like when this happened. Was it the whole, it was the Morgan stuff. It was Morgan becoming like actual Night Sister. Which, did you guys understand that better than I did? I mean, it like, oh yeah, Night Sister magic, but I didn't know if that was a callback to anything.
I think this magic is like your huntresses and like Ventress. So this is the kind of stuff that Ventress had.
That makes sense.
So not like it would have been the same thing that your like bow huntresses or whatever they were called. So like your assassins of the Night Sisters, right?
Right.
That's what I got out of this. Ventress was the easy comparison because of the facial markings and stuff.
Right.
And the eyes.
Yeah, she got what they call it, the gift of shadows.
Yeah. I don't remember Ventress having all that. I can't wait to go back and rewatch Clone Wars. Like the whole like
Ventress had some facial markings, right?
You know, she had some, but like Morgan got like the pure black abyss eyes that the Great Mothers had.
That wasn't.
Yeah,
that wasn't Ventress, but
I want to learn more about it. I don't know if they have stories out there about that stuff, or if this is all new. Also, the sword of Talzin I thought was cool. Cool callback.
Yeah, I was actually like, when I first saw it, I was like, what the hell is that? And then I looked, I'm like, oh yeah. So that was in the Clone Wars, right?
Was it? I didn't know. I thought it was
Yes.
cool that it was Talzin.
The blade was.
The blade was.
Oh, that's really cool. Then.
Yeah. I didn't recall the blade.
I'm starting Clone Wars
I remember
tomorrow.
Mother Talzin, but yeah.
Yes, Talzin had this blade.
Huh. That's sick. I feel like rewatching it's gonna be really nice because now I actually care about the Night Sisters. I feel like when I watched Clone Wars, I was like, oh yeah, crazy witches, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, it was cool. I always forgot, and kind of keep forgetting that Ahsoka fought Morgan and she was actually capable. Like in Mandalorian, they fought. Because at first I'm like, I mean, she's kind of old. I don't know if she's going to really be a threat at all. But then I was like, wait, they fought before and it was actually a fight. And they listened to me. I told you I'm writing Star Wars. And they fully listened to me. Their duel later on, Ahsoka and Morgan, they zoomed out the camera.
Oh, yeah.
And they kept it zoomed out. And I loved it. It was like a fencing match. That's exactly what I wanted.
It was a good fight too.
That was so good. Like, I thought it was a huge step up than the constant cutting.
No, I liked Morgan's fighting style too.
Yeah, the way she like blocked and like used her hand on the blade.
Yeah.
It felt very like, I don't know what culture fights like that, but I know there's a certain one that I'm thinking of.
Okay. So, I don't know if we talked about this before, but I'm going to lay it on us here again, right? We know who actress that plays Morgan.
Oh, yeah, her dad is.
Yeah. So, Diana Inosanto, right? Yeah. Her dad is Dan Inosanto, right? A martial arts legend. But her godfather was Bruce Lee.
Yeah, I found that out today. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It's like, huh?
I mean, I don't think she had a choice but to be badass. So
that's totally fair. Yeah, it was kind of weird. In the episodes before this, we kind of kept being like, oh my god, she's just there to make Thrawn look good. Like, she keeps saying stupid stuff for Thrawn to correct.
Right.
And then this episode's like, oh no, she's capable. And I loved her when I loved how Thrawn handled it, where he actually seemed remorseful that he had to tell Morgan to stay here. Like, I feel like that was him being kind of like a sociopath for a second. Like, oh yeah, I care. Like, I'm really sorry, but for the Empire. And then she says it back, but then says for Dathomir. I love that so much. Because then we got to finally see what her real goal was. Right. It's not the Empire. It's the Night Sisters.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool.
Getting those great mothers to Dathomir is her ultimate goal.
Yeah, and it makes sense. Thrawn's like, I need an army, and they're like, we want to be back at Dathomir. We have an army.
Okay. What the hell is that about?
The Death Troopers?
No. I'm going to skip over that for a second, and we're just going to do what we do, and we're going to go right to the end. Dathomir. Why are they at Dathomir?
I think it was a deal. The Great Mothers will help Thrawn get help because he has the ship, right, and everything. And then his thing was getting them back to Dathomir.
Yeah, but they got to Dathomir and they're prepping whatever cargo that is.
Oh, it's definitely Night Sisters. It's definitely dead Night Sisters or dead troopers that they're going to resurrect. 1,000,000,000% those are coffins. I did see someone say they might be like back to tanks, like Thrawn froze his people, or the sisters froze their people. It's like, when we get rescued, we'll revive you. Like, that's kind of interesting, but I don't know. I thought there were coffins.
Now, Ezra did say Thrawn woke up the Night Sisters.
He
the
did.
witches.
He did.
He woke them up. So
I kind of, yeah, he said that. I'm like, man, I wish we would have seen that.
right.
Like, imagine if episode 6 was like a flashback to when Ezra got there. So we got to actually see, like, how did he escape? How did he, what did he see? What did Thrawn do? Because, man, I would have loved seeing that. Because he knew a lot of stuff, but at the same time, like, I've kind of been keeping to my own. It was too dangerous to go by myself.
Well, there was kind of like an army on that Star Destroyer,
Oh, for sure. No, I agreed with him. It made sense. But I was like, I just want to see that initial escape.
Right.
Which, I don't know, we might be able to get eventually. I could see them doing like an animated show or something on Ezra. I feel like he's definitely going to be a fan favorite from people who haven't seen anything.
I was gonna say, I'm digging the hell out of Ezra.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we love him, but I think for people who haven't seen anything, I think Ezra's going to be the fan favorite, besides maybe Baylan and Shin.
Right, and then he goes and builds Kanan's lightsaber. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, that did okay. Filoni is so good at getting meta with it, and I love it. The fact that he said, "Oh, that emitter is way too small," and the fact that people like always complain that Rebels had their lightsabers were too small. I thought that was the funniest callback. Like, oh man, it was like he was taking the complaints and making it into a joke, and I really like that. It shows how much droids in general have seen.
Right.
Because I know we always think about like how R2 has seen everything.
Yes.
Like he has been through literally all of it, like 100 years. Like maybe not that much, maybe like 80, but still. I think Hu Yang was like, yeah, I trained all these guys. Yeah, Kanan, the guy we know as like your father figure. Yeah, I trained him as a little boy. It's like, what? So I enjoyed that a lot. Hu Yang is also another great character. I feel like Ahsoka, over like all the shows, have just given us amazing new characters.
I mean, and I think the one thing with this show is your main cast. I mean, pick one out that you don't like.
Sabine.
Ha.
Okay.
I do it.
Well,
Pick another one. That's hard. Right?
okay. Now, what did you think about Sabine in this episode?
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's like, oh, you're gonna set me up like that?
Yeah, you'd really alley-oop. So her using the Force, I don't absolutely hate it. I just think taking her character down the Jedi path without having the Force is more interesting than it just being, yeah, she can use the Force too now. Yep, she got over whatever her block was after Ahsoka said a single sentence to her. That felt a little cheap. Especially being able to do like actually use it after. If it would have just been the lightsaber, I think I would have been okay with it, and I still kind of am. It's just I don't know. I was kind of hoping they had different plans for her, and she would have grown in different ways.
For me,
besides
for me, there in that whole thing you're talking about, there's only the one thing missing for me, right? Where Sabine is pinned up against the megalith.
The Wampa.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. You just said it, right?
Yeah.
It's Luke hanging upside down. He's struggling. Then he calms himself, right? Then he can do it. It's Rey getting ready to get shoved over that chasm by Kylo Ren, and she calms herself. It's, It's a thing. It's a Star Wars thing, but they didn't show it here. You know,
I feel like she kind of stopped for a second because she was struggling a lot, and then she almost seemed like she stopped struggling for a second, and her eyes changed a little bit. Maybe it wasn't as dramatic as it usually is, but I did think there was a second of calmness.
it was for me. It wasn't enough.
That's totally fair. I mean, I more so just didn't want her to be another Force user, but I did enjoy that immediately after this, she's not instantly a crazy badass Jedi.
Right.
If you look at the clips, like, yeah, Ezra and Ahsoka are blocking all the blaster shots and like deflecting it, and she instantly gets like shot in the head.
Yes.
And then like deflects it into the ground. Like, she's not there yet, and I love seeing that.
Yes.
So I'd like to offer a counterpoint to the calming herself narrative there. I think they did that for a reason. And it's that Sabine is not your typical gifted strong in the Force Jedi, right?
Right.
She's not the ideal pick.
Agreed.
Okay.
And I like that aspect of it.
Right. But when she is trying to focus on using the Force in all these other instances, she's failing and failing. But Ahsoka ends up taking a different approach and realizing what made Anakin's strengths with training her, right? She sees what the strengths were there, never gave up on her, things like that, and realized that was going to be her strengths with training Sabine. And then through that and what she had to say there, it kind of, her encouragement was like telling Sabine to do what she knows. Right? So it got her in her element again. That's why she's fighting combination Jedi Mando. Right? And in that element, she was able to actually utilize the Force because she's fighting within her element. So everything became available to her. Did I confuse that up too much?
No, that makes sense.
It makes sense, but it's
because when they're like, I look at the moment when they're riding towards the temple. Sabine helped. Like, you see the struggle in Sabine there. Like, the other two are struggling. They're good at this. Sabine looks like she's really struggling with it.
Yeah.
Right?
Honestly, she seems like she's using the dark side a bit.
But she's doing it. So that added to it. Like, okay, I can do this. So she got her confidence.
So I like what you said there, Hunter, because, you know, with everything you just said, Joe, I can understand it from that point of view. But it does kind of have that feel then that like she might be tapping into a little bit of the dark, you know, using more of that Mando aggression, I guess you could say.
Well, just emotion in general.
And
well, if that's the case, she's just embracing her line, right?
But
yeah.
What was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
Oh, that's probably just me interjecting every 2 seconds. Sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, I decided to help.
I do think it's more like, I think a light side, right? And it seems more like you're sacrificing yourself to the Force, like embracing it. And then dark side is more like you're forcing it, right?
Oh.
And what Sabine was doing, it seemed much more like she was forcing it.
So, yeah, right. I get it. Forcing it. So,
yeah,
like no. I get what you're saying though. Like you're trying too hard, but you know, Ahsoka said, train your mind, train your body, and that goes right along with the Mandalorian lineage, but it kind of justifies from Huyang's story to Ezra about Ahsoka and Sabine where Ahsoka was coming from, and the way she knew how to wield the Force. Sabine has to do it a different way, and Ahsoka was not. We'll just say she's not used to that, right? She was trained in the Jedi way of doing things, but if Sabine's going to use the Force in this alternate way, then she has to adjust for that as the master,
I do really like the shot we got of Ezra and Ahsoka talking, and about how Ahsoka was almost worried about what Sabine would become based on if she lost all of her family. She lost her found family as well. Her home is gone. Like, yeah, I was worried if she reached her potential. There was that fear there because of Anakin. And
right.
I don't know what this does to help that.
That's a good point.
Well, Ahsoka assured her that she's not going to go anywhere this time.
Yeah, she also said that to Vader, though.
Yeah.
I guess she didn't. Ezra pulled her out, so. Yeah.
Yeah, she was planning on dying there.
Oh, yeah.
So.
But yeah, I guess that was all from a single question about how do I feel about Sabine. But yeah, like it was. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I just thought we were gonna get something new, and we didn't.
The part that I really like about it is that this does harken back to, the first time you ever saw Star Wars, like A New Hope. There, as a little kid seeing it, it was like, wow, I want to be a Jedi, right? I it's like anybody can do this until it was like, oh, nope, only the gifted people can do this.
Yeah.
But this has kind of got a little bit of that feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like I said, I love that we got that combination Mando Jedi. Like if they were gonna go this route, that's what I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do love that she kept her helmet on.
Oh, having the helmet back? Okay. I will say this about Sabine. Particularly in the scene before the Death Troopers turn. Right? Once she switches to blasters. How much did she look like animated Sabine with her movements?
Oh, yeah.
Incredibly
Yes.
so. And
Oh my God.
The lateral movements and stuff.
Yeah. I'm curious if that's the actress or if that's like a stunt person. Like, because that was crazy. That movement was like, yeah, I fully.
Oh, it was crazy good. Like
Also,
even
like-
after they brought him back and she kind of got a little combination lightsaber blasters going. I'm like, the movement here is incredibly true to the character. And I absolutely loved that. I was amazed that they were able to bring that to live action the way they did.
Yeah.
It was good.
I love that Ahsoka was instantly like blasters. Like she wasn't using the lightsaber very well, and she's like, "Stop trying to be us.
Well,
Use your blasters."
it's not even stop trying to be us. It's just play to your strengths,
Oh, I thought that was like a good moment of Ahsoka being a master and being like, "Here's some direction." I don't know.
Yeah,
Instead of it
totally.
just being,
But,
yeah,
but she knows that Sabine is stronger with the blasters than she is with the lightsaber at this point. So
yeah,
go to your
But
strength.
not only that, Sabine being kind of vulnerable with the lightsaber helped get them to advance to where they wanted them. So having the lightsaber at first, and then backing up and her looking vulnerable definitely got them to advance. And then once they switched to blasters, they're already out in the open. Her switching to blasters while they still had all those corners and cover and things like that to work with wouldn't have been as effective.
Right.
They used some Thrawn-like planning there. Like, draw them out, then go to that.
Well, yeah, she even said it, right? Fall back, draw them out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did like that classic action movie when everyone was dead. They kind of like look around at the room.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like everyone's like sizzling or something.
Yes.
That felt very Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon kill all those droids. And then they like turn back and there's that one, or no, not that, sorry, Anakin and Obi-Wan in episode 3.
Yes.
When they kill all the droids and the one like falls down like, ah.
Yep.
That scene was very much like, yep, we just tore through them.
That very good observation right there, because yes, that had that exact feel.
Yeah. I think it also happened on Coruscant with them, but that scene more so, the Revenge of the Sith scene more. It was sick. Yeah, just seeing the three together and their chemistry, and wow, this could really be like the new 3. They'd work really well. They have the chemistry. Like, I kind of don't like that Ezra went off to our galaxy, because man, seeing them 3 together was awesome.
Well, I would agree with you, except the original 3, they got separated all the time. Luke,
Yeah, Galaxies is a bit big though.
yeah, well, I mean,
like I don't see them easily being able to leave without some like Mortis weird wonky super force stuff.
Hey, they did it, but I love that we got to see Ezra in Stormtrooper armor.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. It was a bit stupid on his part, I think. Let me go into this with it all still on. But yeah, just him taking off the helmet and harassing him. Great acting. The pain and like the happiness in her eyes. It was fantastic.
That I think was just to kind of like tell us how he made it,
But not show us. Just, that's one of the complaints I had.
I know.
It felt like they could have used 10 more minutes just to show, even if it just showed him like escaping on a ship or something.
Look, here's the thing. Here we know how he made it on the Star Destroyer. Okay. He evaded everyone who might have been looking for him by crawling through all the ventilation ductwork. Okay. I mean, that's what Ezra does. Right? That's a joke. Come on.
Sorry, my mic cut out. I was totally laughing.
He did that like a dozen times in Rebels. Just saying, at least.
Yeah. But I thought the weird part is, and I haven't really seen anything on it, but like, I guess a theory that like, hey, maybe Ezra isn't who we really think he is. Thrawn was the only person to instantly catch Ezra doing this in the past. Like, yeah, Ezra did it a bunch against Callus and stuff, and it was super easy, and he always got out. But remember when he did it with Hera, and Thrawn like instantly tasered him, or he got the stunner on him?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like the second Thrawn came into the picture, he was able to tell Ezra's not a stormtrooper. So I feel like that having happened in Rebels made it a little weird that like, so Ezra was just able to walk out of there?
So I don't think it was that simple.
I
think it was just you got 10 more minutes and it explains it, but I think the logical thing is here you see all the traffic starting once they get to Dathomir. This is when Ezra sneaks out. So you see they arrive at Dathomir and you see ships starting to come out. They're taking stuff down to the planet.
Mm-hmm.
This is when Ezra sneaks out. And by the time we didn't get to see Thrawn notice that one went the wrong way.
Right.
But he would have.
He would have. You're absolutely right. But there's probably not a damn thing he could do about it.
Exactly. They still
what I'm
have a
saying?
whole lot of cargo.
They don't know
unload.
Ezra's on board. They don't. I mean, he threw the one stormtrooper that saw him, or one of the two stormtroopers that saw him, over the edge. And the second one, that's the armor he's wearing.
Yep.
So, and he acknowledged the command on the comm. So he knew they were coming, had a heads up, gets off to safety, lays low. They arrive at Dathomir, start unloading. He takes a shuttle out in the commotion and jets off. Shuttles have hyperdrives. I mean, if we really want to go into it, like, how the hell you know where to find Hera? Like, this dude's been in another galaxy forever, and all of a sudden he's got the coordinates.
Right.
Wait, I didn't even think that's a great. Yeah.
There
So
is
I
that.
just don't read too much into this stuff. You can keep going.
It feels sloppy writing, though. I don't like that. I didn't even think about that part. I figured he would have, like, calmed her or something.
Let me ask this. Like, in the grand scheme of things, in the story we've been telling and what we've been getting, does all that really matter?
Yes, because it makes me theorize that maybe Ezra is working with Thrawn. I know it seems stupid.
He was
it
an
doesn't make
Inquisitor
sense.
at the beginning of the season. Like,
Right.
It's just...
Right? I'm just saying, like the fact that, like, okay, he was able to escape Thrawn super easily, and the fact that it was off-screened makes me think of, like, maybe there's something more to this. And also, like, Thrawn wanting the Empire back doesn't make a lot of sense. At least canon Thrawn. So I don't know.
I'm still with you there. Like, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Other than the fact that since he's been gone for so long, maybe he's like, well, my plans shot to shit.
That doesn't feel like Thrawn, though. I almost think, like, okay, how did Ezra escape, right? How? In the first place. Like, how did they teleport to a different galaxy? How did he get out? I almost think, like, him and Thrawn have an agreement or something. I don't know. It's probably not there. But the whole Thrawn... Yeah, it seems a little... Us not seeing it and it being off-screen twice is either super sloppy or there's something more there. I'd like there to be more. I think I don't know. It makes Thrawn seem very incapable. Like, you're telling me 3 people were rushing on these creatures to a gate above a Star Destroyer, and a Star Destroyer couldn't kill 3 people?
3 Force users.
They didn't look like... They were just charging towards the gate.
They were definitely zigzagging and avoiding blaster fire.
The only thing I would say about that, though, is that, Thrawn
It's a Star Destroyer.
did use, like, Star Destroyers to, like, level cities and stuff, I mean...
Right.
Yeah.
Like, a single Star Destroyer can level a city. I don't care how much they can dodge. All the guns pointed at the ground, they should be
but dirt doesn't
dead.
blow up, dude. Stuff in buildings blows up. It gives you more for your shot. Dirt just does what dirt does.
It's a Star Destroyer. I'm just thinking the giant blaster bolts are, like, huge. Like, the scale of it doesn't matter. You shoot your 1,000 guns at the ground.
Yeah.
It's just...
What the thing about it is, he did say rain hellfire down on them, and when it didn't work and they got in, they cut back to Thrawn, and he had this look of, really? They just got.
Yeah, he's like, how did that not work, writers? How did he's like looking at the writers like, what are you guys doing?
All right, Hunter. I'm going to explain it away for you.
Oh man,
The Chimera is not in tip-top shape, man. Not all the turbo lasers are working at full strength.
we saw it rain down.
Yeah, and they're basically in stun mode.
The
So is
turbo
there something
lasers
more
have stun
there?
mode. That's
Is
awesome.
Thrawn not trying to kill them then? Is there something more going on? Because like at this point, I just feel bad for Thrawn. It's like, okay, his troops are useless. No one can do anything. They have 3 targets and thousands of people, and they're losing every fight.
I think you just don't have. I don't think all batteries are working.
I will say, it does seem like Thrawn is operating out of a diminished military capacity. I mean, we found the Jedi shuttle. Send 2 TIE fighters. 2 TIE fighters? That's it? You know? It's like,
Like, yeah, I have 6.
Right.
You know, like.
Yeah, you would think
Yeah,
it would
I mean,
be...
he's sending a platoon of stormtroopers that he's recycling.
Yeah, he should have infinite spawners. The sisters can just keep bringing them back.
Right.
And they did.
Why does it matter? Just send them all.
So this night trooper thing. Okay, how are we feeling about this? This is
the death troopers.
Yeah, they call them night troopers, but hey.
Because they can't call them death troopers anymore because they use that in canon, and we got to see them too.
Yeah.
True. I think the 2 big ones that are death troopers, right? I mean, that thing's mouth looked like a
zombie.
That was crazy.
It was
that was
zombie.
like a parasite thing. That was straight up from death troopers, I thought.
And here's the thing. They just kept coming until we had a lightsaber headshot. Right? And it was a headshot. And it's like, oh, that's like zombie trope. It's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Felt a little weird. Also, the lightsabers like not cutting people's limbs off felt super weird, but
I will say this trend of igniting the lightsaber for the kill shot.
Oh, right, yeah.
Is starting to get a little all right, you did that. You've done that. You know, and now it's really lost all of its thing because now they're chucking lightsabers across and like the guy catches it, ignites it, and kills the Praetorian Guard.
Yeah.
It's
you know, so it was cool when it first happened. Now you're just kind of overdoing it. Like this is just a thing.
Agreed.
Which I think the same thing we can. This wasn't this episode, but the whole the starting the duel with the form changes.
Right.
Like, oh, that was really cool in the Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul fight, but now they're overdoing it.
Yes.
It almost seems like everything they get good reception on, they're like, yeah, let's just do that, but more. Then people don't like it, and they're like, okay, let's not do that anymore. Let's do this.
Right.
That's what it honestly feels like to me. I feel like the heads of Star Wars right now are just like, oh, fans like this, we got to throw this at them.
Yep.
Yeah, but apparently no one liked there was no one that liked the new stuff, which was I guess it was a Kanan kind of throwback, you know, using blasters and a lightsaber.
Which, thank you for bringing that up because I would have forgot. Once Sabine went back to save Ahsoka, the way she was fighting with the lightsaber and blaster was straight out of Jedi Survivor. Like it was the exact move set. Which is why I really want you to play the game because it's more like she's fencing. So like when she was like cutting people, it was more like a fencing chop, and it's literally the same move set from Jedi Survivor.
Interesting.
And I was like, oh, that's so cool, and you could instantly tell because she kind of switches how she's fighting because she has the blaster in one hand. So I did like that a lot. So yeah, a lot of overall good stuff. Just yeah, my my nitpicks keep growing. I
Like,
feel
hey,
like.
what if they made a lightsaber that had a blaster built into it?
Oh, then
Ooh.
she could have 2 lightsabers and 2 blasters.
Right.
I thought for a second Ezra was gonna do that. When he
I
was
did
when he was
too.
throwing his lightsaber together, I'm like, oh, is it coming back? Is it coming back? The Force is all I need, and then he just pulls that thing out. It's like a mini Uzi on the lightsaber. No, I loved that scene a lot in the beginning. Just Ezra.
Speaking of
Building the
lightsabers, Joe, are you going to get the next Ahsoka set with the chopped in half lightsaber?
Yeah,
I guess I could just break one of mine.
You got to do it for the accuracy.
uh,
Yeah, that
I
that
actually
tool is-
I
Like,
actually
I'll go get
felt
the plasma cutter out and just cut it in half. And
I felt something when that happened. It was like, ooh, ouch. You know, it's like she still got one, but man, Ahsoka needs 2 blades. You know, so she took Morgan's from her. That was
yeah, when she took the Talzin blade, I thought it was gonna like curse Ahsoka for a second. Like how when she touched the treasure planet spear and it like burned her hand. I thought that was gonna happen.
treasure planet sphere.
It's literally from Treasure Planet. You can't tell me it's not. It's the same thing.
I don't know if it's the same thing.
Watch Treasure Planet again. It's the same thing. It's like how you were saying the hand was gonna have an imprint of the map.
right.
It's that much of a callback, I'd say, in comparison. But yeah.
I honestly thought the blade was going to disappear.
That also would make sense. Like she does the killing blow and it disappears. Because it was like her power, sort of. I don't know, a bit confusing. But is it time? Can we get to like the greatest thing that happened, even though it was 10 seconds?
Go for it.
Go for it.
Can we do the thing where every week we say I write Star Wars, and because I keep predicting what happens. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I mean the daughter. The Mortis gods. Like, come on, the giant statues.
Yes.
Have you guys been seeing the pictures and comparing? That's not a word. Comparing Mortis to this world and how similar they are.
No.
No.
Oh. There's been a lot, like where Balin was standing and looking out. There's a scene in the Clone Wars that almost looks like it's the same planet from like a different perspective.
Interesting.
And I think it's awesome that yeah, the father's there, yeah, the son's there, but the daughter's head's gone. And then later on we see I always forget the thing's name. The daughter's bird. Help me out here.
Morai?
Morai, thank you so much. Yeah. We see the Morai, I think, is almost like a something's up. Like every time we see it, something's up.
Yeah, Morai is that particular bird's name. But it's a convor.
The species is that, yeah. But that's like the daughter's bird. Like that's like, you know, and I feel like the fact that it shows up means like, yeah, Balin's being called by something. These giant statues are pointing to it. There's a glowing beacon in the background. This is a different galaxy.
Yeah, glowing beacon over what looks like some sort of temple, right?
Yeah, which is a Temple of Abeloth. Confirmed.
Confirmed.
I can't believe it's happened. Confirmed, yeah, because I'm writing Star Wars, so confirmed.
Oh,
I honestly think like a lot of people that were saying like, no, there isn't a way, right? It's too bizarre. Now they're all like, wait a second, the Mortis gods are
hey, if
here.
you're
So
writing
this-
Star Wars, why are you writing a Sabine that you don't like?
Right.
masochist, I guess.
Nice. Okay.
I don't write all of it. I have Kathleen Kennedy breathing down my neck and telling me to change stuff. So I give you guys Death Troopers, I give you guys Abeloth, but everything else, sorry guys.
Hilarious. I will say, I think the Convor being there is directly what leads to Ahsoka saying to Sabine, "We are where we need to be." Because I think that is a sign to her that there's more to be done here.
Interesting, because it did seem kind of fast where she was like, we need to move on, like not even try to get home. That felt a little fast.
Right.
But
I think she's come to understand that, seeing the birds, like, okay, something's up.
Yeah, because that kind of always shows her that she's in the right direction, right? That's like when it comes around.
It seems to come around during important moments in her life or whatever. Yeah.
And I didn't know. I could have sworn Ahsoka was renewed for season 2, but it's not. I totally thought it was already renewed and we were like for sure getting a season 2, but like no, they're still talking about it.
Oh, it's gonna get a season 2.
Yeah.
I hope so. I'm a bit worried. Like, oh, are they just gonna wait till the movie and just have Ezra in it or something? I don't know. It seems a bit weird.
I think,
especially not if you're gonna have Abeloth.
Right.
I know. It's I hope we get a season 2. I hope we hear about it like within the next week. Because if it's like 6 months till we hear, I'm like, oh, probably not looking good. But there's so much stuff set up, and Balin ending his journey like that, like, oh, they did not wrap his character up.
No, it's definitely not wrapped up.
Yeah, which I really thought they were going to throw something in to wrap it up, and it's not.
I mean, they definitely had everything in order before it happened.
Ray Stevenson passed, yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm like fighting back sneezes and stuff right now. I'm dying over here.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I think somehow, some way, that's going to have to be resolved.
Yeah.
What Balin's doing.
I don't think there's any way around this. They got to recast.
They do.
Yeah.
I agree. And it sucks because he did so
impossible.
well. Yeah.
And it sucks because, yeah, he was unbelievably good.
So, Hunter, how are you writing this moving forward? Is Balin like going to unleash Abeloth on the galaxy, or is he going to try and take the seat of the father, or what's going on here?
So how I write Star Wars, or I guess what's going to happen in the future, because why am I even,
Right.
What I would have ended this on, right? Say we get 10 minutes of Balin going off, because we only got like 30 seconds of him and Shin. He goes off into the temple, right? He goes off into that beacon.
Yep.
Walks in, and we see a glimpse of the father. And he's like, you answered my call. You're here. And Balin's like, yes. Greater power, right? Like, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, all you have to do is release this, do this thing, and it will be yours. And he does it, and you see the father have this like crooked smile, and it turns into Abeloth.
Ah, okay.
And it's like a thanks for getting me out. And then either
I'm glad you're not writing Star Wars.
and then she like possesses him, and then that's how you get the whole recast, right? It's kind of messed up, but you have him be like possessed, so it's like a different person.
Gotcha.
I think the whole like calling thing being bait, like it's a false hope. I mean, he lost everything in Order 66, and this being like all he had left, and it being a trick from Abeloth. I feel like that's how you introduce her.
Okay. So, real quick on this topic, I'd like to explore something because it's just hitting me here. We talked about early on how Balin would not kill just to kill like a Sith would, right? But if you got in his way, he would do what he needed to do to get done what he needed to get done. So there's this kind of like a foot in each side of the Force, the dark and the light kind of thing going on. Do we believe that he somehow came to learn of, the father, son, and daughter type thing going on, or is this just a feeling he had, or I mean,
that's my biggest question. Like, how does he know about this?
Right.
Because there's no text about it, are there? Like, Yoda didn't know anything about this. It would have had to have been a vision. And if the daughter was there, I would think this was just him trying to become like the son or the new father, even though I really hope Anakin has taken that spot.
Well, I was just going to say, yeah, who else is there now?
Yeah. I don't think the son works with Balin because he's not dark. Like, I feel like he just does what he needs to get his goal complete. He's not evil to be evil.
Right. Like I said, kind of like a 1 foot in each side of the Force. I get the feeling that he's probably going to try and assume the father role.
Do you think he's going to try that and Anakin's just like, yo, this is mine?
Something. I mean, seeing as how we do have the Anakin Force Ghost there on this world, this other galaxy,
Yeah, so I see two different outcomes of that because people are like, how is Anakin here, but he's never visited Luke after Return of the Jedi? And my answer to that was, I guess not my answer, but what I saw was Force ghosts appear to someone that they have a strong connection to in the material life.
Right.
And the reason like Kylo Ren never sees him is because they never knew each other. So he can't physically appear to him.
Well,
I was like, that's kind of interesting, but I don't know.
I think they'll also visit when this person is in a time of need for a visit, right? I mean, it's kind of how it's worked out up till now.
Do you think Ahsoka saw him, or do you think she felt him?
I rewound that back to look at her expressions. I think she felt a presence, but did not see him as a Force ghost. Because
I agree.
Yeah, her expression was kind of like, I know you're out there, but I just can't pinpoint it yet, kind of thing.
Yeah. I love that Sabine like saw something else. I almost feel like she saw Kanan.
Oh, maybe?
How she was like, I just felt something familiar or something like that. And
I think she was
like,
just saying she thought she saw something. I don't think she knew what she felt or what she saw.
Right.
Oh, I thought it was something specific because she was like, just the shadows playing tricks or the stars playing tricks.
Yeah, maybe in seeing Anakin, she thought she was seeing Kanan.
I like that.
Interesting.
That I like that scene a lot. I thought that was it was like a mix of and the Return of the Jedi, Luke seeing the Force Ghost, and also like the twin son moment.
Right.
Like when Luke looks out, like it felt like a mix of that, and I loved that scene. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was was really good.
Good
I
stuff.
thought that was a great ending.
I didn't think we'd be seeing Hayden Christensen this much.
I didn't either,
Oh,
but
I
I
know.
love it. It's fantastic. He did so good. Like, redo the prequels. Like, get him back in there.
There's no need to redo the prequels.
I
Redo
know,
the sequels all you want, but you know.
I still love him. It seems like they're doing that. But I do think him showing up here confirms that was actually him in episode 5. Like, you know how he said, like, some people said, "Oh, it's a vision. Oh, it's real." And then I think Doug said it was like it was both, or something. I think this confirms that was him.
Well, yeah, I think, because I think Ahsoka was on the edge of death, but this was actually Anakin, giving her what she needed to come back,
Yeah. I thought his expression was so interesting. Like, it wasn't pure happiness. There's kind of like a stoic part of it,
yes.
where he was like, this, which also made me think, like, yeah, something's up. Something's like, this isn't a happy ending. This is like, nah, there's something here.
It was almost a look of, all right, you've made it this far, but you have got quite the journey ahead of you,
That's exactly what it felt. But he was still, it almost seemed like he was just happy seeing her.
Right.
Like how she was handling a loss. Because he did lose. Thrawn said, like, the coldest line ever, and then dipped. And that was, for a second, I was worried that he wasn't going to escape, or they were going to go with him. I was like, well, how does it take this long to leave? Just to leave.
Right.
But then he just said, yeah, it was like, long live the Empire, and just dipped. And I was like, that is so good. It's like, perfect, finally.
I like how it was like a duh moment. Yeah, I know you're talking about Thrawn dipping, but I love how it was kind of a duh moment that it's like, oh yeah, that's why that ring was so big.
Yeah.
Oh, a hyperspace
whole
ring?
Star
To a
Destroyer.
Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, same.
But like when you see it in the first episode, it didn't even click.
No? Oh, that's the first thing I thought of. I never said it, I know, but it's the first thing I thought of.
Oh, nice.
Nah, I'm with you, Joe. I thought they were going to have to take that ship to leave.
Oh. No, I figured it was like a hyperspace ring, like a prequel style. Yeah.
Yeah, like Obi-Wan used.
Right.
But I guess it was just huge. Yeah. I don't know. It was cool.
thought it was only huge because of the size of the engines.
Yeah, same.
Like if they had like a regular size, they needed these big engines to get there. So if it was regular size, it would have just like blew them up. Like,
huh. Well,
so there I go going like, oh yeah, that makes sense. They had to put them that far apart because it would just like, do this.
Yeah, I thought it was just they need that much power.
Like,
and they were
they
attach.
They were considering, physics in Star Wars.
right.
Not a chance. They're sound in space.
All right. So you mentioned Thrawn giving the cold line and dipping out. I did like that he called Ahsoka a Ronin.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so I get the whole wanderer and stuff, the soul person on their own, but I went to it just to double check my understanding of the word. And when I did, it's like, oh, right? Because it's part of the etymology of the word is the term originated in the Nara and Helen periods when it referred to a serf who had fled or deserted his
Position. Yeah.
master's land. In medieval times, the Ronin were depicted as shadows of the samurai, masterless, and less honorable. It's like,
Yep.
I was gonna say there's moral implications to that, right? The less honorable, right? Like,
right, exactly. So,
That's kind of what Anakin was too.
but I mean, the point, Surf who left his master's land is like, Ahsoka left.
That's
Anakin.
her leaving the Jedi. Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yeah.
It's like just to throw one word in like that is, I love that it has such deep meaning for the character,
Yeah. And I also like that. I feel like if Thrawn said that line to her at the beginning of the series, she would have like frozen up a bit. But she, if you look at it, she almost smiles at him saying everything he's saying.
Exactly.
Like she knows, like, I'm not going to be like that.
Her response to it was, "Can you get me more powerful engines?" It's
Yeah. Like, let's just keep going.
exactly.
Instead of it being like, I really think if like episode 1 Ahsoka, he says this stuff and she's like,
right.
Like it messed her up. And I really like that Thrawn and her never actually met. So he's thinking she's just Anakin Jr.
Right.
But she's more. She's greater. She grew past that, which yeah, great.
Yeah.
I like that. She's a Ronin. The first thing she says to that, the only thing she says to that is, "Can you give me more power to the engines?" Translated, "I really want to kill this guy."
Yes. Yep.
Or I'm on a mission. Shut up. Stop talking to me and trying to be poetic.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, it was yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot. I hope we get another TV show that includes Thrawn, even if for some reason we don't get a Ahsoka season 2. Whatever is next needs to include Thrawn now.
Yeah, I got a feeling it will.
Do we know? We still don't know if a Mandalorian season's coming out, right?
No word.
Okay, so Acolyte is the next thing, probably.
Next live action thing.
Yeah. Besides what, Bad Batch is the only animated thing, right? Is something else coming out?
Well, Skeleton Crew will be eventually. I'm not sure when all these are. I'm not sure of dates, but
Gotcha.
those are the things that I'm aware of.
And yeah, I think that's it for a bit though. This was like the big Star Wars is back, and then now we kind of gotta get quiet again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the bummer here, right? Like, because all I can think about is like, wow, it's over.
Right?
Why has it got to be over?
Yeah.
I could have done with another 10 episodes.
Absolutely.
Or exactly 2. I really think 10 would have been perfect. But yeah, 10 would
Yeah,
be good.
10 more would have been perfect.
10 would have been good. Yeah.
'Cause I'm not done with this. I want more.
Even if like we get a book, like I'd love a book of Ezra's perspective of when he got to this galaxy.
I got a feeling that's probably going to come. I mean,
I could definitely see it.
that's the sort of thing that you would get in a book traditionally
Yeah.
in Star Wars.
It's like, oh, you
The-
want to know what happened? Buy a book. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like this reminds me of the end of Clone Wars, right? Oh, you want to know what happened? Get the book. Because we just unceremoniously ended it. So here's some books. Shut up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, if that didn't work, I guess we'll give you another season.
Right.
So now that Ahsoka's over, out of all the live action we have, do you think it's the best live action show?
Hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down?
Hands down.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Not even close.
What's your number 2?
being 100% honest, and I'd say Andor.
Yeah, Andor is, for me, Andor is honestly close. I feel like this hit me more emotionally just because of all the Rebels and Clone Wars stuff we got. But as a story and like plot driven and like good writing and everything, I think Andor is probably better. But this just has everything we wanted.
I mean, Andor had the benefit of pacing, right? Andor was able to run at a much slower pace.
Yes.
I'm curious who was in charge of that though. Because this kind of did too, and then it got fast. Like,
Well, I mean, I don't think it was necessarily who's in charge of it. Andor was 2 seasons before they even hit the ground.
Well, yeah.
You know, because I mean, before we even got anything, they're talking about, well, season 1 is going to cover this many years, and season 2 is going to cover this many years.
Well,
so they just had the entire groundwork laid out. Whereas Ahsoka is getting a season 1 and it's up in the air.
Andor did change though.
It did change. It was originally going to be what, like 4 seasons?
Yeah.
5 seasons.
Holy crap! Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
they're like, people. This is what I was saying. People really liked Rogue One. Let's just give them a crap ton of it.
So,
like, it's
well,
all Disney's doing.
They condensed it down to where season 2 is going to have 4 3-episode arcs, as far as I understand, and each 3-episode arc is going to be a consecutive year. So
interesting.
Yeah, we had Andor, which was happening in that year, which is 5 BBY, and then the first arc will be 4 BBY, then the next one will be 3 BBY. You know, yeah.
Just imagine how awesome it would have been if Rogue One came out after Andor aired.
Oh, as the culmination of everything Andor was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, and then you don't know if he for sure dies. And you're like,
I think Out of Order has a certain allure to it.
Yeah. Oh, really? Star Wars. No, I just think like what they're trying to set up with this big like Mandoverse film, I think would have been crazy if Andor had that treatment. Because like you're in the theater and you see Andor die after watching 5 seasons worth of content about him, you are sobbing. Like that's like Kanan's death. Like
let's use your same philosophy there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Mando happens after Ahsoka, and it has this direction that it's headed. How do you think that changes?
You're saying if Mando came out after Ahsoka aired, so like we're getting Mando season 1 next month? Yes.
You've got this ultimate vision of where this is headed to this event.
I think, Thrawn would have to be introduced much faster.
Right.
I think the episodic nature of season 1 wouldn't work very well. In season 2, Luke coming in would be like, okay, what is he doing about Thrawn? I feel like it actually wouldn't work as well.
Really? Because I feel like you look at seasons, I guess you could look at all 3 seasons of Mando, and it just didn't feel like it was heading towards anything in particular.
Because they didn't have to, right?
Right.
But I feel like if Ahsoka came out first, people would complain a lot more about that.
I was asking, what do you think it would have done to the direction of Mando?
Oh, like what would they have changed? Oh, yeah, okay.
So would that show have benefited from this direction for the plot?
Yeah. So, okay, my perfect world where I fully have all the rights to Star Wars, Mandalorian season 1 comes out first, then Ahsoka. I really thought season 1 did very well at having a like open world feeling Star Wars show. Like episodic, and I think for a season that was awesome. Like us getting that and being able to explore and find new characters, and just the feeling of season 1, especially when it came out, was it felt refreshing. And then Ahsoka comes out, okay, stuff's happening now. You know these characters, you like these characters. Season 2 starts, okay, we need to get Moff Gideon because he's working for Grand Admiral Thrawn. And we're getting Moff Gideon because he has Grogu and and it keeps going. And I think it would build up a bit better.
All right. So let's expand on your question and do the one thing everybody seems to claim to hate, but loves to do. You've seen Ahsoka now. You've seen all the Star Wars live action that we're getting for the immediate future. Rank them.
Yep, here it is. Do you want me to start? I have it. I actually thought about this. We have Ahsoka, which overall I would rate an 8 out of 10. But that's
you're
number
gonna go
one.
that far. I was just to say, put them in order, favorite to least favorite.
I'm gonna also give him a little rank. Then we get Andor, which is also an 8 out of 10. I think they're almost tied. I just think Ahsoka gave us more Star Wars stuff that we've been craving because of the ending of Rebels and Clone Wars. So it's a bias. I mean, any ranking's gonna have bias, but then am I able to split up Mandalorian into seasons?
No, I think do the show as a whole.
Show is okay. Oof.
Just for simplicity's sake.
Okay. Then Mandalorian, which I give a 5 out of 10. I think there's a substantial drop. I think season 3 was really bad, but in general, season 1 I would have probably given a 7. And then we get Book of Boba Fett, which I give a 3.
Okay, I'm gonna say throw Obi-Wan into that. This is
shit, I forgot about Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan would go. It's better than Book of Boba Fett. Is it better than Mandalorian? No. It's hard because like season 3 really made me dislike Mando. If it was just season 1 and 2, I think Kenobi would be slightly worse. I'm going to give Kenobi a 5 out of 10 as well and say it's tied with Mando.
Huh. It's funny because I'm probably the only one that thought season 3 of Mando was kind of redeeming.
Yeah, you liked it because it focused on Mando, but I
mean, even though it focused on Bo-Katan, but
right.
Yeah, it was a Mandalorian.
It was a Mandalorian story, at least.
Yeah. I thought 1 had a lot of charm and 2 had more of a story-based thing and cameos and world building.
Cameos. I don't know about the
It had the cameos. I know. That's why I still wouldn't rate it that high. I think season 1 was 7, season 2 was probably a 6.5, and season 3 was like a 3 for me. Like really bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much going to agree with your rankings, though. Like, because I'd probably put it in the same order. Ahsoka, Andor, Mando, Obi-Wan, Book of Boba Fett.
What about you, Doug?
Well, it's hard to judge each show as a whole because there are such redeeming qualities of some shows that and others not, it's man, because if I could cherry pick like the Luke Skywalker episodes out of Book of Boba Fett, you know what I'm saying? It's like
yes. In the last
hard.
episode of Obi-Wan,
and the season 2 finale of Mando. It's like, that's where I'm saying all of this post Jedi stuff we're getting, I almost feel like you got to take it all in as a whole.
Nah, what's your ranking?
Well, I mean, okay, I would have to put them about the same as you guys, honestly, but it's, I don't necessarily have ratings like you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair. I think
ratings.
about this stuff all the time. So
The rankings would be about the same. I mean,
I figured you'd like Kenobi a bit more than we do. That was my guess.
I didn't like what they did with Kenobi.
Okay.
I mean, I thought we were going to get something quite
about
a bit
Kenobi.
different. Yeah, it was the Reva show, really.
Yeah.
And I liked Andor. I liked it a lot, but I've always said you could take that story and put it into a show about New York City, and it's the same, pretty much. It's,
And I wouldn't even like simplify Kenobi as like the Reva show, right? It was the Reva and Leia show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I'm like, yeah, Kenobi's just there. He's like bodyguard.
Yep.
And that was my complaint when we were going into that show. I thought, like, how are they going to make him a full character when his whole thing was kind of being a hermit and not doing anything and hiding?
Right. That was. It's one of those things, right? So many people were calling for I can't wait to see what Obi-Wan's doing, communing with Qui-Gon, figuring the Force out, this and that.
I mean, that would have been boring.
Well, you say that, but that's what people were clamoring for.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
And what they decided is, we're not going to give you anything like that. So, I
think that's because they knew. You give people what they want with that. Like, oh, this is what Obi-Wan's doing with communing with Qui-Gon. Gonna be like, oh, this show lacks action. It's like, duh,
it's
he's
nothing
sitting in a
but
desert talking to a
fan
ghost.
service. Fan service. That's all the show is.
That would have, yeah.
But okay, then who are we servicing? Not the fans, but okay.
I mean, I'm with you, but like, I knew he had to go off-world, right?
Well, sure.
There's nothing to do on Tatooine.
Well, and not only that, if he ends up involved in action on Tatooine, that's just gonna give him away.
Right.
Like, I can't believe they did that much stuff with Vader in the show. I can't believe we're talking about Kenobi now. But like, he went far. Like, they recognized each other. They knew each other was alive. Like, that was a huge deal. It's like, oh wow, didn't expect that much. Ooh.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's, well, hey, we all rated Ahsoka the highest, yeah?
Yes.
Yep.
So they're getting better, hopefully, even though Book of Boba is the lowest by far.
Well, I think it had its strengths at times.
Yeah, the Mandalorian episodes.
But as a whole, I mean, come on. How great was Boba Fett going to be?
Yeah. Well, they
Yeah.
could have made it an actual, like, gangster, gritty show. But they went the family-friendly route, and it didn't make sense with his character. Like, I don't kill people, I'm respectable. Yeah, I'm going to take off my helmet every 2 seconds. Put it back on.
The whole, I don't know. There were things about it, the scooter gang and
Oh, yeah.
that kind of stuff.
I like the flashbacks. The flashbacks were cool. With the Tusken Raiders.
Snorting lizards and stuff.
Yeah, that was like, hey, something. Yeah, that show's rough.
definitely had its issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Just to wheel it back around, final thoughts, Ahsoka, this episode, season as a whole. Let's wrap it up. Hunter?
I still think episode 5 is probably the best Star Wars we've got. Like, it's so good. Everything with Hayden Christensen was top tier Star Wars, and I got a lot of nitpicks with the show, but overall, I enjoyed this experience a lot more than the past ones. I'm excited to see what they do next, and I'm really hoping it gets renewed for season 2, or we get something else that's still involving all this.
Right on. Doug?
Well, they cannot leave us hanging where they left us hanging. I mean, we have got to get something to move this forward. I think whether there's a season 2 or this is going to go into the film, either way, we're going to get some really good Star Wars in the future. And that right there is, call it hope, right? I don't know.
We have a new hope.
A new hope, right? But it's definitely something for us to look forward to. And I can't wait. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like, they did things with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Andor that started to break this might be unpopular to say, but the kind of Marvel mold I felt like they were falling into. I feel like they've broken that up, and Ahsoka advanced that. They got back to, what is the heart of Star Wars. And yeah, I'm really excited to see where it goes from here. And I hope they discovered that they really hit on something here and decided to start telling more stories like this. It was a lot of fun, and it just really felt like home again. So, yeah. Well, if you have anything to add, you can always email us, show@thewarsandmore.com. That's the best way to get a hold of us. We're also on social media @thewarsandmore on X, facebook.com/thewarsandmore. You can find all that and all the ways to find the show over at thewarsandmore.com. And we will talk next week.